The rain had started as a soft drizzle, the kind people ignore, but within minutes it turned into a relentless downpour that soaked the streets and blurred the city lights into trembling reflections. Daniel Carter pulled his worn jacket tighter as he hurried toward the small diner on the corner of Maple Street. He was late again. Late because he had waited to make sure his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, had fallen asleep before leaving. Late because being a single dad meant every minute mattered, and yet none ever seemed enough. Daniel worked as a waiter at the diner, long hours, low pay, tired feet. Since his wife passed away 3 years earlier, life had become a constant balancing act between survival and love. Lily was his whole world. Every plate he carried, every forced smile he offered customers, was for her future. That night, the diner was unusually quiet. Rain scared customers away, and Daniel was just wiping down a table near the window when he noticed her. A young woman stood outside, drenched, trembling, clearly disoriented. Her hair clung to her face, her thin coat soaked through. She looked like she might collapse at any moment. People passed her without stopping, umbrellas tilted carefully to avoid contact. Daniel watched her for a moment, something heavy settling in his chest. He didn't know why, but he couldn't look away. Without thinking, he grabbed a towel from behind the counter and rushed outside. "Miss, are you okay?" he asked gently, holding the towel over her shoulders. She looked up, startled, her eyes wide and glassy. I don't know," she whispered. "I think I lost my phone. And my car won't start." Daniel guided her inside the diner despite the manager's annoyed glance. He sat her down, handed her a glass of warm water, and wrapped the towel tighter around her. "You can stay here until the rain slows," he said. "You're safe." She nodded, tears mixing with rain on her cheeks. "Thank you. You didn't have to do this." Daniel smiled softly. Sometimes, people just need someone to stop. Over the next hour, he learned her name was Emma. She was new to the city, had just left a job interview, and everything seemed to go wrong at once. Her phone battery died, her car stalled, and the rain had swallowed her confidence whole. Daniel offered her soup, on the house. When the manager protested, Daniel quietly said he'd pay for it himself. Emma noticed and tried to refuse, but hunger betrayed her. When the rain finally eased, Daniel walked her outside, helped her jump-start her car with his old cables, and made sure it ran properly. Before leaving, Emma reached into her purse. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. "Please, at least let me give you something." Daniel shook his head. "Just, pay it forward someday." She hesitated, then nodded. "I will. I promise." She drove off into the wet night, and Daniel returned to his shift, unaware that this small act of kindness would ripple into his life in ways he could never imagine. Days passed. Life returned to its familiar rhythm, school runs, late shifts, exhaustion. One evening, Daniel and Lily sat together on their small couch, sharing a bowl of popcorn. The TV played softly in the background as Lily flipped through channels. Suddenly, she froze. "Daddy," she said, pointing at the screen. "That's her." Daniel looked up. On the television was a news broadcast. A young woman stood at a podium, cameras flashing, reporters buzzing around her. Tech entrepreneur Emma Reynolds announces a new citywide initiative to support struggling families and essential workers. Daniel's heart skipped. It was her, the same woman from the rain. Clean, confident, elegant, yet unmistakably the same eyes. Lily tilted her head. "She's the lady you helped, right? The one who was cold and sad." Daniel nodded slowly, unable to speak. The news anchor continued. "Reynolds, whose company recently sold for over $2 billion, says her inspiration came from a stranger who showed her kindness when she needed it most." Emma's voice came through the screen, steady but emotional. "A few days ago, I was having the worst day of my life. I was soaked, lost, and invisible. Then a man, who had every reason to ignore me, stepped out into the rain and treated me like I mattered. He didn't know who I was. He didn't ask for anything. That reminded me of the world I want to build." Daniel felt his throat tighten. Lily smiled brightly. "Daddy, you're on TV." He laughed softly. "No, sweetheart, I'm not." But Emma wasn't finished. "I don't know his name," she continued, "but he's a single father, a waiter, and a hero in my eyes. And I want to find him." Daniel stared at the screen, stunned. He hadn't told Emma anything about his life, except that he had a daughter waiting at home. The next morning, the diner buzzed with excitement. Customers whispered, pointed, and stared at Daniel like he was some kind of celebrity. Someone had shared a security clip online, grainy footage of Daniel holding a towel over Emma in the rain. That afternoon, a black car pulled up outside the diner. Emma stepped out. The entire place fell silent. She walked straight to Daniel, eyes shining. "I found you." Daniel stood awkwardly, wiping his hands on his apron. "I didn't expect this." Emma smiled. "Neither did I. But I couldn't stop thinking about you. About how someone with so little gave me so much." They talked for hours after his shift ended. Emma listened as Daniel spoke about Lily, about loss, about trying to be enough when the world keeps asking for more. "I don't want to just thank you," Emma said softly. "I want to help." Within weeks, Emma's foundation launched a program providing childcare support, scholarships, and housing assistance for single parents in the city. Daniel was offered a role, not charity, but a job, helping manage community outreach. It came with stable hours, benefits, and a future. When Daniel told Lily, she hugged him tight. "Does this mean you won't be so tired anymore?" He smiled through tears. "I think it does." On the first day of his new job, Daniel walked Lily to school under a clear sky. The rain felt like a distant memory now, but he knew better. Sometimes, storms don't come to drown us. Sometimes, they come to reveal who we are, and who we can become, when we choose kindness, even in the rain.